So Denise just discovered there's something on the door. We asked them to be here for 2 p.m. and we'd be able to open the door for them because that's what Carrie had asked us to do. See, we got the key right here. We've asked for cooperation the whole time. Again, police showed up here yesterday, adversarial again, did not bring any assistance with them at all, in order to provoke me and turn me into what I call a meat puppet, because I'm used for their purposes. They turn my disability against me, and I'm trying very hard to stop that. Anyway, we asked for the cooperation. Denise came over here just now because she was getting ready to get it ready for 2 p.m. and she found something on the door. So here it is, again, 98B, and there's a note taped to the door. Today's date is October 2nd. What time is it right now, Denise? You got your phone?
I don't have my phone.
Okay, anyway. I didn't bring my phone with me either. But anyway, it says, Atlas Property Group.
It's almost 2 o'clock.
Attention to the tenants of 100AMarshall Unit B. We are posting this to notify you that between 4:30 a.m. Will you stop? 4:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019, period. That is today. That means since 4:30 in the morning this morning until 6:30 p.m. this afternoon, which is concluded on October 2nd, 2019, we will be entering your unit as requested by Waterloo Fire Department. We will be there to check up on fire safety devices. Police will be present for our own safety. Thank you for your cooperation, Atlas Property Group. So anyway, because that's 4:30 in the morning, I mean, who knows, they might have already been here.
That's right.
So we're going to go in and check out what's going on. And again, it's not an issue, just before we start, it's not an issue that they come and inspect. We've been asking them to inspect, we've been asking them to correct, we've been asking them to do that, and this is how they react every time. They victimize us, they criminalize us to make it look like we're the problem. They claimed under oath that we stopped them from doing the repairs when it was really because they received their license. Anyway, this has been nothing but a joke. It's got to be a sick joke because otherwise it's twisted and dark and really it's terrorism.
It's terrorism.
Anyway, we're hoping that you use your own judgment. Here's the facts. Anyway, we just want to see, and there's no problem with them seeing the place.
No.
It's about lines of respect.
Yeah.
You know, but again, we are not withstanding. Carrie is not withstanding. Autistic children in the education system are not withstanding. They just bulldoze over the law and everything else and do what they want. Anyway, let's take a look and see what's going on. So here we are, and again, yes, they did whatever. So who knows, they might still be coming. But anyway, everything seems to be intact this way. There's one way to tell for sure, and that's upstairs, because if they broke her lock for her door, as was shown the other day, so it's nothing new here. No, it still appears to be locked. That's a good sign. Everything's off up here, I believe. Oh, I'm going to close that window. She has it wide open. I asked her to open it because she was concerned about the mold, but not wide open. That might have some rain come in. Okay. Anyway. Is this window closed?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, so we had in reviewing the tape last night just before I was about to post it, we realized that we accidentally left a couple of lights on down in the basement. So let's go see. Yeah. This one's still on. Of course, you needed it on to make it look like somebody's here anyway. So it should be this one and the bedroom, right? Should be left on.
Well, we can't go in the bedroom because it's locked.
No, this one here, I mean. Yeah, so that's all that was on here. Okay, so anyway, it looks like everything's intact for the most part. It's hard to tell whether or not they were here, if they already came through, but I guess they got till 6:30 this afternoon. So that's what the letter says. And if they come after that, then you go, I'm sorry, but
Is
that
it
clearly
free-flowing?
says.
Can they walk right through without you being?
Yeah.
It's good.
So you just gotta turn off that light.
Yeah, that's free flow.
Okay, so yeah, that's a walkthrough, just for posterity, I guess. Make sure everything's good. That's locked good. It is what it is. I mean, they can show up whenever they want. They can come hard or they can come soft. It doesn't matter because they're going to do what they do because that's what they've been doing for, what, eons.
Yeah.
You know, 400 plus years with the natives. We're just notwithstanding now too, so what can you do? Anyway, as you see, we're going to leave everything as it is. Not that there's a legal requirement to leave this on the door, but and I'll get it off of her to actually scan it and add it to the file with the many other things. But anyway, you know what? We should get a note and say we have the key at 100A. Please come and get it. So, Denise?
We have the key at 100A. Please come.
No, I'm not saying right now. I'm saying we should put a note on there that says that. I'm just saying, do you have anything else you might want to add about your experience?
It's been horrible. Absolutely horrible. Nobody should.
Do you want to look in the camera and tell people?
You ask for help, and this happens. How would you like to ask for help and have the rug pulled out from under you and be evicted after you followed the rules?
Paid your rent.
Paid your rent.
Honored every part of our agreement.
Honored everything.
And
got more work than I ever bargained for. Thank you, Mr. Papadopoulos. You minimalize everything, don't you, sir? You don't give a rat's ass about anyone.
anyway,
But yourself.
apparently it's his privilege. He paid for it. They boxed our rights up into a little package, and he paid for the privilege. Because that's what happens. They cover for the people who are privileged. Anyway, it's your tax dollars. And it's also, if you do nothing, stuff like this continues. And who's here? I mean, Doug Ford is closing down your ability to get access to a proper defense. You know, they are controlling the information at all levels, especially when it comes to what's filed in a court of law. Again, like I said, this is all real time right here. So again, if you want to keep believing in this crown that only does wedge issues politically to be able to feed off of both sides and exploit the difference while not ever upholding their own agreements under oath or law, because their word is not worth a damn thing. You want to continue listening to them, then the yoke is on you. As far as how we deal with this, it's very simple. They treat people notwithstanding. So what we do is anybody attached to the crown through business and or government, they are treated notwithstanding. You need to pull your money out. You need to take your investments out. If everybody sticks together, like I said, mortgage is just a golden ticket to Willy Wonka land that they use as your slave, chained to you, so that once you have a mortgage, all they do is they bring up policies that keep putting you more and more in debt. Like, for instance, in Waterloo region, with all this growth, they've been deferring taxes from the budget, which means in a few years down the road, and with these business dealings, you don't know what the backroom deal was, where all of a sudden 10 years down the road they've got a huge chunk of change they have to put on the tax roll. Because what you don't know about what they are doing won't hurt them. And let me remind you, this is a developer, a real estate agent, registered, knows the law, is supposed to know the law, is a multiple unit landlord in this province, including commercial. He works for Kupel Marcoux or through Kupel Marcoux. That's the card that he gave us the business card of for his contact, not Commissions Worldwide Inc. So anyway, like I said, and if we had a real lawyer with real representation instead of having to fight for our lives, because right now we have to try and we've got a storage space because we may have to be out of here in the next few days. and I'm disabled, and last time they did this, I almost died because it was a snowstorm, and I'm not physically able to do this anyway, and they deliberately waited 3 weeks to come up with this, when really what they should have done is said, hey, in the meantime, do the order, and then bring the physical evidence to prove what you're saying. But they didn't do that. They did it all on his spec of his word. They didn't provide a safe environment for us to be there. They didn't give us the proper environment to be able to tell our story properly. Our evidence properly. They interfered with due process in even obtaining the evidence. They obstructed justice in all of this, and all for what? For the privileged landlord? Are you kidding me? This is in the open. They are defying their own law. The law is designed properly. They're just not enforcing any of it. And they're using it as a means to cover up the fact that they are obstructing justice and putting people in harm's way because what happened next door. The fact is they do not do inspections. They allow them to do what the landlord did. Fill out an application, check mark here, sign there, have a nice day. And is that protecting anybody other than them in their misrepresentation and fraud? And when I say they, I include the city, the region, and the province, because this is amalgamation. They've amalgamated the services, they have a service sharing agreement, and they've decided we're just not going to do that anymore because it gives us more business. Because now, guess what? If they are successful at having us removed from here, we are now homeless. I don't have a way to put, this is their thinking, is that, hey, it's one fell swoop because then it's stopping me from putting anything on YouTube, right? It keeps us too busy looking out to try and, just try and survive, and automatically, we paid all of our rent and everything, honored our agreement. They interfere, especially Landlord, Tenant Board, and Ministry of Housing, and the province, and there's no human rights in this province, let alone country. It's all a joke. It's called British North America Act because it's all an act. 15 years of this abuse of process in every aspect. 15 years ago, it started at an employer that I was told I was safe at, that everybody's told they're safe. This employer was allowed to operate for 5 years unlawfully because you need to have a proper health and safety policy in place and training and everything before you can even open the doors legally. They did that for 5 years without a proper health and safety policy because they only got one in 5 years after my accident, 2 years after my accident. Or within the first 1 and 2 years of my accident, which was actually 5 or 6 years after they opened the doors. And every time they had an accident that was reported, somebody from Labor Board went in there and investigated. Somebody went from WSIB for the employee, and none of them ever caught that this condition existed. It's like they say here, oh my God, this is safe. Next door was safe. You're safe from fire because we got this license that says you're safe. And again, this next door one has been licensed since 2011, 2012, every single year, except for a short period of time where they were caught without a license at the same time that they were caught without heat. And what's going on with this Atlas Property Group is that they are just a front and a cover for the landlords, because they too are required to follow the law, but they instead follow the direction of the person they have the contract with, which is against the law. And the city and the province and everybody is just playing with everybody. Anyway, we have a whole mountain coming down on us because we dared to stand up for what they said was supposed to be the law. Yeah. It's a poorly executed law, but it's designed to depict predatory nature against a targeted community. People like us who are low income, who can't afford to get a lawyer, who do not own property, because every time we have an encounter with them, they steal more of our property, or we end up losing it because of the crisis situation. Hypervigilance for ever since this started in May.
When you're a senior and you're disabled, shame. Shame.
Anyway, enough of that. Needless to say, we're a little outraged, eh? Who wouldn't be? Anyway, we are asking for people's help to bring this before a real judge and have this order quashed. Or go in front of landlord-tenant. Landlord-tenant had an ability to have done it differently. They could have sat there and ordered, they were supposed to order them to finish that outstanding municipal order. They don't even have the backbone or the guts to do it, and they're part of the Ministry of Housing, the one that's supposed to be upholding the law and enforcing it, and making sure it's enforced correctly. They're clutching at straws because they're making too much money from the conflict and the chaos, which is why Doug Ford's best leadership skill is to throw it all to the wind and see where it scatters. Because no matter what, right or wrong, they make money off it, and they make more money off of it when it's wrong. Here is a direct evidence of wrong, in our opinion. Hopefully you agree, because like I said, this is criminal. And either way, this has been an obliteration of our civil rights, of our right to due process, of our so-called Charter of Rights and Freedoms constitutional rights, and most of all, our human rights. There's another victim in this too. Tiger. Hey Tiger, how you doing, buddy? Hope you see.
Are you okay, buddy?
All this tension
Tiger's
has affected Tiger.
Tiger's my
Service dog.
Yes.
Yeah. Casualties. So what? We get to pay the price. What does he get? He gets to bring in Atlas Property Management, which is known for renting each room for $600 a room. So that's going to be $3,600 a month. From $1,200 a month, they broke our lease because we had $1,200 a month plus utilities, and we have everything paid up except for the last few months because it was unlawful to do so. And we paid $22,000, over $22,000 in unlawful rent when he was unlicensed and not able to do so, because the law says clearly it is unlawful to collect rent. It is unlawful to cause rent to be collected. It is unlawful to put yourself as if you are lawfully able to collect rent for this premises. It is an occupancy permit, clear as day. And the city is using it as cover for abusing everyone. I'm telling you right now, if we get evicted from here, I'll take 3 to the chest. I am not playing anymore. I am not. We will get our possessions out of here because I'm not going to allow them to steal any more than they already have. But you know what? From what they've treated me like, and for the last 15 years and what's going on, I'm worth less to them. I am not withstanding. So when the time comes, they're going to have to get the sheriff. I will not be giving up vacant possession voluntarily. And if that means that they end up shooting me, so be it. I accept that. Anyway, I'm done. I put it out there in 2015, Mr. Trudeau, the challenge. And look at where you are. And you were saying, you're correct in saying that a country is measured best by how it treats the less fortunate. Take a good look around, because we are just widgets in your little factory of industry. The war on the poor is a metaphor. And you've declared war on all of us. This is warfare. This is psychological warfare, deliberately using our disability against us. There is no difference between Waterloo Regional Police and the Gestapo. And the worst part about it is there's no difference between all those people in Germany that were afraid to speak out and the people here in Kitchener, Waterloo, and the province of Ontario, because you're all living in your own heads. As long as it doesn't affect you, I guess it's entertainment, right? Anyway, I guess you should be prepared to be entertained, because as I said, I am done. So apparently they're going to have the right to go and get a sheriff after October 6th. We will attempt to write the sheriff's office again as a person with a disability and request more time because of the disability. Of course, we're not expecting anything, because that's just a reason for them to predate on you. But hey, think of it this way, at least we'll be able to have all these services available to us, right? We just became another serviced individual, another check mark on that list. Congratulations. Your system is working exactly the way it's designed to. Problem is, what are you going to do about it? For me, it's over one way or the other. My bet's on 3 to the chest. Hey, let's see what we got in. Hey, Vegas, you want to take odds? Proceeds go to disabled tenants, ability to defend themselves. Good luck with that. Hopefully you're not.